Backlash is growing this morning against people who defended the actions of former Stanford swimmer Brock Turner, who was convicted of sexual assault. One of Turner's high school counselors reportedly said yesterday it was a mistake to write a letter of support for him during the trial. She apologized, saying, "I tell my students they have to be accountable, and Brock is no exception."
In a letter to the judge obtained by CBS News, Turner's mother writes her son is, quote, utterly terrified and traumatized by this. He is suffering and will continue to pay for this for his entire lifetime. CBS News legal expert Rikki Klieman prosecuted sex crimes and defended sexual assault suspects and joins us at the table. Welcome back from vacation.
Thank you.
I am so glad you're back because I've been wanting to talk to you about this since this story first broke. So, you know, the judge is getting a lot of heat these days for his sentence. But is this a typical sentence, 6 months?
No, it's very light, and I think by anyone's estimation it is light. However, one of the things that I think has not come out in all of the news in the last few days is that the judge, while being vilified, is being solely vilified as the person who pronounced the sentence. If you look really at what the judge was looking at, he got a comprehensive report from the Department of Probation that not only was a Department of Probation speaking with the victim, but also spoke with the defendant. The department also has grids that they go through to be able to make a calculation as to what should be the appropriate sentence.
Well, a lot of people wanted to know what went into his thought process.
So where do you think he placed the weight then here to come to this decision?
Well, the probation department concludes a moderate county jail sentence, formal probation and sexual offender treatment. I've just read it. So the judge is faced with that. He's faced with 39 letters from the defendant, his family, and other supporters. And he's faced with, and I will say it without fear of contradiction, the most articulate statement I have ever read or heard from a victim of sexual assault in all of my years of either practicing law or covering
But, Rikki, that's why people are upset, because you hear the victim statement and you hear the statement from the parents, you see the judge make this decision, and you can't understand it.
Right. Well, you probably can't understand it in an era of social media. Social media comes down and decides who is the enemy.
But, Rikki, if you're looking at that list that you just gave me, and you talk about that statement and how powerful it is, how do you as a judge reach this conclusion?
The judge reached the conclusion, whether we like it or not. And I do think that it's shocking. I think criminal defense lawyers around the country have said that it is shocking.
Well, let's read then from the victim's letter, because she said this: if a first-time offender from an underprivileged background was accused of 3 felonies and displayed no accountability for his actions other than drinking, what would his sentence be? So was privilege a factor here?
There is no question. Privilege, wealth gets great lawyers, and the poor average Joe would wind up in a totally different circumstance.
All right, Rikki Klieman, thanks so much for being with us this morning.